So hello, how's everyone doing? And Merry Christmas or late Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, which is gonna be like right around when this video comes out. And I'm just gonna talk again about the AI collapse. Well, the coming collapse, because it's pretty much here now, and a couple other things like Microsoft especially. So I'm here taking a walk. Hey, I have my new shirt on, or at least my new jacket that I made, because it's actually kind of cold in Florida where I live. For once, it's generally not cold here, even during the dead of winter. But we got down a little bit cold today, so wore my jacket. Anyway, let's talk about all the stuff that's going on. So first, we're gonna start about Microsoft, and then we're gonna see a little bit about how it relates to the AI collapse that's pretty much coming. And everybody thinks, oh, I say AI collapse means like all AI is gonna go dead. No, that's generally not what it means. It means AI and the way we use it is going to change, and it's going to basically be insolvent or not profitable anymore for everybody that's heavily invested in it. So basically, like, stocks for AI is going to drop. All these companies are going to lose a lot of money, and it's going to happen really quickly. So first, let's talk about Microsoft and what Microsoft is doing that's accelerating the collapse that's coming really fast. Right now, there's a lot going on with Microsoft. Microsoft is in deep water, basically. A lot of hot water, a lot of trouble right now because a lot of people are switching from Microsoft, and a lot of people are mad at Microsoft right now. And it's for a lot of reasons, and they're very valid reasons. Microsoft has completely destroyed their trust in their operating system, and they're losing people fast. And it's kind of their own doing, to be honest. They did this to themselves. And even me, I'm in the process of switching over from Microsoft based stuff to Linux based. About to switch all my laptops over to Linux, and I'm buying a mini PC to work as a server. Not really a server, but a backup agent to back up all my stuff to keep them there locally instead of on a cloud. And my reason for doing it is pretty much going to be what a lot of reasons for a lot of companies to do it right now are. And is the cost of running Windows now is getting out of hand. Completely out of hand. Recently, there's been a little bit of news about Microsoft and their basically year-end adaptation and new people using Windows and people leaving Windows, and it's higher than it's ever been, to the point where Linux has seen a 100% installation rise. So a ton of people are moving over to Linux. A ton of people are leaving Windows 11 and going back to Windows 10, which is unprecedented for an operating system, for the new version of the operating system to get so much backlash that people are leaving it for the older, non-secure, non-supported version, and completely leaving the ecosystem altogether to go learn a different ecosystem like I'm about to do. Which seems like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, but at the same time, it is a big deal. I've used Windows since Windows 95. I used Windows 95, Windows Me. I went to Windows XP, which was great. And I even beta tested Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 10, and then finally Windows 11. I was in the beta program for all of those versions of Windows. And I'm done with Windows, which is like weird to say. I'm completely done with Windows. I'm about to just reject everything Windows, switch over completely. And yeah, I even had a Windows phone at one point. So yeah, a lot of my experience with computers have been on Windows. I have used Macs, but I don't really like Mac all that much. I've always preferred Windows. But now I'm about to just switch over to Linux and say, forget about Windows, I'm going to switch to Linux. I would have switched to Mac, but I have Windows devices that aren't really supported by Mac. So it's easier just to switch to Linux because Linux supports all. And the first reason why I'm switching is because Linux actually runs faster than all the PCs I have, and even some of the ones I have that don't even run Windows anymore, it can still run Linux. And that is one of the main reasons why Windows is currently in this problem with Microsoft, basically. Microsoft has updated stuff out of their operating system that people use. They fixed stuff that wasn't broken, and broke stuff altogether. And they've been doing this over and over again. And then on top of that, with each update, they use more resources. They require you to have a more powerful computer faster and faster, and it keeps on going and going and going. Right now, I have 3 laptops. No, 4 actually. 4 laptops. 2 of them run Windows perfectly fine. One's starting to slow down a little bit. The other one is very glitchy, and it's all because of Windows. The other 2 barely boot Windows 11 right now. And I don't want to jump back and format my hard drives. At this point, I'm about to just clear them one at a time, transfer any useful information to one, and then wipe them, put Linux on them, and use them as Linux from this point on, because I'm no longer like a hyperpower user like I used to be. I used to use a whole bunch of software, AutoCAD, photo editing, Photoshop, Adobe, all that stuff. Now I primarily use DaVinci and Word, which I'm about to change from Word to probably OpenOffice or something like that. That's just simpler, because I don't need a whole bunch of doodads in Word to write books. It actually is more distracting than it's helpful. With that being said, the 2 laptops that I don't use anymore because they can barely run would run perfectly fine on Linux, because one has 8 gigs of RAM, one has 12. Not a small amount of RAM, not something that's super old. They would work just fine, considering that Linux requires 1 gig of RAM to basically work, or less depending on your configuration. My other laptop that I use has 16, the one that runs super slow. 16 gigs of RAM and a Radeon 5 processor, and it barely runs because Windows is using up so much power. My newest computer, pretty good actually, is Radeon 7 processor, the high-end version, so it's faster than the Radeon 9. It's a Radeon 7 processor with 64 gigs of RAM. And Windows 11 uses 20% of that RAM when it's running nothing. This is a clean boot. Well, relatively clean boot, because this is when I go back into the settings and I disable everything from running on startup except for Windows, which is what most of my PCs are designed or set up as, so that I don't have excess stuff running and anything running that I don't need running. I do this every 2 weeks or so. I go in and check and make sure only Windows is running, because if it's not Windows, I really don't need it to do what I'm doing on the computer. With that being said, 20% of 64 gigs is being used just to boot Windows. 15 to 20 second boot for Windows. My other laptop has a full 1 minute boot time. The other 2 that I don't use anymore takes over 2 minutes to boot, or 3 minutes or so to boot. Why is that necessary? And I will put that into perspective for you that goes, well, it's not top of the line. No, it doesn't need to be top of the line. It shouldn't have to be top of the line to boot properly and to run easily. It's a computer. It's not doing a lot. And if you want to put it in perspective, back in 2008 or so, the computer I have right now would be considered a supercomputer. Why is it barely running just an operating system that boots? Back in the Windows XP era, all my computers would be considered top of the line, super expensive custom built computers. Now they're just base model computers. What kind of nonsense is that? And that's why Windows is losing a lot of people, because they're basically updating their customer base out of it. People don't want to keep buying new hardware every 6 months just to keep doing the same exact thing they were doing. They expect that they're doing something, they should be able to do it continuously for a long period of time. The only reason they will need to update their hardware is if they're doing something more, or if something breaks. Then it's understandable, replace your hardware. It's broken, or you're doing something more. They shouldn't have to update their hardware just to keep using the same thing and doing the same exact process, which is basically what Windows is now. It's just putting all the effort onto the user end. So basically you have to keep buying new hardware, updating your system, upgrading this, upgrading that, just to keep using Windows, instead of them just making their software more efficient and eliminating bugs and giving people user systems that they need, not just random systems that look pretty. Oh, and another interesting thing that a lot of people people probably don't know, something that I found very interesting, that I've always found interesting, is one of the fastest computers for hacking still runs, I think it's 100 megabytes of RAM. And the reason it's so fast and it's so well run, basically, and the software on it's so efficient, is because it's coded in binary. The entire code for the computer is binary. There's no Java, there's no C++, nope, it's all binary. Which means Windows could literally run their system, their software, through a decoder and redo their entire operating system into binary and get rid of all the bloat, all the extra stuff, and put out the operating system that would be blazing fast on pretty much any at all hardware. But they don't. And their main reason is because they want to spy on you all the time. They keep on taking your data, keep on seeing what you're doing, all for their AI stuff, and that's causing a problem. And people just don't really want to do it now. They don't want to deal with the constant upping their hardware requirements just to run a basic operating system anymore. And so what does that have to do with AI? That has everything to do with AI, and that is going to be basically the reason AI starts collapsing very soon, or well, technically is already collapsing. The fact that everything requires more just to do the same stuff and to run the same thing, and you're not getting a bigger return, even though you're putting in more and more money, is going to be what causes AI to fall apart. Right now, these data centers keep getting built, these investors keep putting in money, hardware prices keep going up, everything is costing more. But AI is not giving a return on that investment that's worth it. It's just a money pit. All we're doing is push your money in. We're not getting anything useful in return. And that right now is hitting the tipping point where people are stopping this constant investing in AI, the constant want to use AI, when they realize a lot of it's not as useful as they're promised. They're spending more money on it than they're getting as a return. And it's just becoming something that's costing more than it's profiting, which means people are going to start losing adaptation of AI. Once they reach the point where the costs outweigh the benefit and it's starting to negatively impact them on more than just a small ratio, then it's going to turn around and people are going to leave. And that's what's happening with Microsoft right now. The cost to keep on running Windows is now more expensive, and it's now more costly than it is the cost to do anything else. And in fact, running Linux is free, Microsoft is not. So the cost to run Linux is zero, while the cost to run Microsoft increases each year. And a lot of companies are starting to go towards, let's not put our eggs in Microsoft basket because they're having data breaches and all this stuff. It's not as secure as we want it to be. So how about we go back a little bit, roll some stuff back, see what we can do, see if we can put ourselves back into a place where we can be secure, we can be running the way we were before, and we can just leave things set up, so not have to constantly change, constantly update. Just have a good setup running, and things will be on our business can run smoothly. And that's exactly what a lot of people are doing, why the adaptation for Linux is so high, why Microsoft adaptation is going down, and why users from Windows is leaving, because the cost is too high at this point. And this is already happening in the AI world, where people are starting to use AI less and less. You can see it in schools already, where they don't want you to use anything AI anymore because they realize AI is making too many mistakes and this is costing them more money than it's worth. So schools are already starting to push away from AI. There are some companies already pushing away from AI and using AI in their work. There's a lot of people that actually don't want anything AI anymore. They want you to have only human stuff. A lot of videos are coming out about people not wanting AI stuff and being only human, because people are getting tired of AI because it's costing more than it's doing. It's supposed to do something, it's not doing it, and we keep on having this issue where, oh, we just need to pay a little bit more, we just need a little bit better hardware, we just need a little bit more of this, and we're gonna have the AI promise. But the problem is that AI promise it's still not there. We were told a few years ago that, oh, we just need a little bit more time and we're going to have everything figured out with AI. Then we were told, oh, we just need a little bit more hardware with a little bit faster, then we're going to have everything figured out. They told us recently, oh, we just need more of the GPUs and we'll have everything figured out. Now they need all the RAM also. So here's the thing. If AI keeps on needing more and more and it's not giving us what we're promised, eventually people are going to be like, yeah, well, you know what? I don't think I want what was promised anymore because I already lost too much. I already don't see the profit. I already don't see the need. So how about we go back to non-AI at this point? Because it's not really worth it anymore. So right now, Microsoft is the tipping point. So Microsoft is the point where the bubble from AI has popped and it started going downhill. It may not explode like most people think, but it's going to start going down because it already started going down. Microsoft is actually fueling AI to be going down faster because the more Microsoft pushes Copilot, which is theirs, into different things, the more people are going to get tired of not just Microsoft, but AI altogether. And they're going to start leaving Microsoft more, and with it, AI more. Because recently, LG just pushed into getting Copilot into their smart TVs. I have an LG smart TV. I like my smart TV because it doesn't have a lot of extra features. Basically, I just want to be able to watch TV and that's it. It doesn't have a lot of stuff going. It has AI in the imagery, so it updates, it enhances and stuff like that. So everything looks HD even when it's not. So, like, it's nice. But now, seems kind of weird because over the past couple of months, the updates have come out and I can no longer watch any videos online. I can use apps to watch videos still and TV still, but I can't watch anything from the internet anymore on my LG TV. And with the new announcement that everything's going to be moving to Copilot, that's one of the reasons I decided it's time to get a mini PC and disconnect the TV from the internet, because I don't need all that extraness. I just need a TV. I'm going to have a mini PC. Most of what I will watch is online anyway. Have a mini PC, play YouTube on it, play Hulu, well, not Hulu because I don't really watch Hulu anymore, but play YouTube and a couple of the other video sites I use and watch my anime on it, all in one place. No longer need to stream from my phone. Problem solved, issue done. But now with everything going the way it is, I'm also going to be pulling out of Windows to use that same mini PC to back up everything, pull everything from the clouds, have everything local. No need to worry about any of that stuff. It's just going to be simpler, and simplicity a lot of times means efficiency, and efficiency is always better because there's no need to have AI in everything. And I'm one of the people that's going to start pulling a lot of stuff from the cloud, stop relying on AI for a lot of things. And I know there's a lot of other people like me who's going to pull, especially from Microsoft. Like PewDiePie already had this video a few months ago about pulling from Microsoft and from Google and going to his own system to run Linux and be open source and not have any lockdowns, basically. And basically a lot of people are going to do that, especially more tech savvy people. They're going to do that because it doesn't make any sense anymore to rely on Windows for everything when they just constantly want you to upgrade your hardware for no reason at all. And that's the same thing with AI. They constantly want more and more hardware, more and more power for this AI race that nobody knows what's going to happen in this AI race. And at this point, what is the point? Your power is going up, water's not is becoming contaminated, a whole bunch of bad side effects, and very little good. Yeah, there's some good coming from AI, but not as much as we want, not as much as we need. At this point, a lot of AI can be locally ran to do specific tasks and be easier. We don't need a lot of server farms anymore. We don't really need all that, and that's probably what's going to happen when people stop using all this AI for everyday tasks, and the backlash comes that people don't want AI anymore. But yeah, that's what I think. The AI bubble has already started popping. Microsoft is the tipping point, and it's pushed it over the edge with its constant requirements for upgrading everything. And a lot of people are probably going to leave Microsoft and leave AI behind and go back to just being a little bit simpler, not being so connected, not being online for every little thing when it's not necessary. And it's a lot secure. It's more secure because too much identity theft is happening, and there's no need for as much as that is what's going on anymore. Anyway, that's all I have for today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below of what you think. And if you have any tips of apps that you can use on Linux, especially for word processing, video editing, I'm using DaVinci. For any photo editing, you can leave those below. Thanks, and I'll see you guys next time.